We got this story from Fox News. Senator Lee dares Democrats to revive talking filibuster over SAVE Act, slamming criticism as paranoid fantasy.
This is exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Let me just stress real quick. The country can be saved right now if the Republicans just nuke the stupid fake filibuster.
They don't even have to do that.
Okay, tell us. Take us home.
Okay, they don't even have to do that. The talking filibuster is a rule already where how it works is that they have to abide by the two-speech rule. So if they do the talking filibuster, basically every member of the Senate gets the opportunity to make two speeches during on the same legislative question during the same legislative day. So you'd say, oh, well, certainly they could run out the clock if it's on the same day because the 40-something Democrats could just all do two speeches and it would be over and then they'd have to restart the process. But no, because congressional rules say that in relation to legislative business, I am quoting directly from congress.gov, the day during which a senator can make no more than two speeches on the same question is not a calendar day, but a legislative day. A legislative day ends only with an adjournment so that whenever the Senate recesses overnight rather than adjourning, the same legislative day continues into the next calendar day. So they could literally force Democrats to give up by not allowing them to sleep or by refusing to adjourn the legislative session.
Yeah.
And eventually they would just get so tired they would give up because nobody in Congress likes to work.
No, they don't.
Do that.
Yeah, John Thune,
John Thune, if you can hear me. John Thune, please, if you can hear me, please save me. Please pass.
They're not going to do it because politics is fake. Every Republican wants it done. Every Democrat wants it done. Every independent wants it done. And for some reason, Democrat members of Congress are like, nobody wants this. And it's this is the emperor has no clothes moment for truly everybody because every single person knows. Okay, the polling shows a range of between 70 and 80% of Democrats want voter ID. It shows that 80% of independents want voter ID and 95% of Republicans want voter ID, and everyone else is confused. And the SAVE Act, Democrats are like, no. But well, hold on. All of your constituents want it to pass.
Yeah, but I'm going to be disenfranchised as a married woman who's changed her last name.
Well, that actually is a fair argument that women aren't smart enough to figure out how to file paperwork.
But we're all retarded.
That, but unironically.
I love that the Democrats always fall back on.
And that's a good thing.
That's actually a great policy. That's
love
what I'm
that-
going
Yeah, that's
for.
the other thing. Well, you would want married women to vote because they tend to vote Republican.
True.
It's the unmarried
Pro-Karen.
women you want to disenfranchise.
So why do the Democrats always fall back on our constituents are stupid? They were doing it they were saying that black people can't get IDs. They were saying that women can't get IDs. Why is it that they constantly are just like, oh, you know what? Our constituents are stupid. They can't figure out how to do this.
They actually think that. They have contempt for everyday Americans. I mean, why else would Joe Biden tell you can't have a dryer that dries your clothes properly?
Well, it's because Joe Biden's stupid.
But he hates us. They hate us and they want us to be miserable. That's why you can't have good water pressure in the shower because they hate us.
And then they make these toilets where
They can't flush properly.
When you flush it, you got to wash your hands above the toilet. You've seen these?
Oh, that's evil.
There's a toilet. And then there's a spigot that comes up and the water comes down and it fills the toilet up while you wash your hands. And then when it's done, you either flush the toilet again, wasting even more water, or you don't get any more water.
Things can get even worse. Have you seen in Europe where on the caps and then it's attached?
Yes.
Like that? You can't take it
Okay,
off?
I have a great story
that's
about
satanic.
this.
That's
okay,
satanic.
so I used to work for The Spectator, which is a British company, and so I had British coworkers. And one of my coworkers, I was telling him about this because I saw it on Twitter and I was like, y'all are getting crazy with those water bottle caps over there. This is communism. And
Satanic.
He was like, you're overreacting. It's not that bad. He went back to visit his family and went to London for a bit, had to get one of these water bottles at Heathrow Airport. And when he got back to the United States, he was like, you're right. It was freaking horrible.
I thought you were
going
to say something like he got chopped up by a machete while he was there or something.
Well, he didn't run into any of the migrant rape gangs, luckily, but he did run into the awful water caps.
That actually is good. A political joke, actually. That's actually no. Actually, I think you just accidentally wrote a great bit of political humor where it's like.
Well, of course I didn't do it on purpose, woman.
Yeah, you go like you guys ever see those water bottles in Europe where the cap is stuck to the top, you can't take it off? Well, it's like I had a friend who didn't believe me. And so he was actually going on a trip to Europe. And I was like, watch, when you go there, you're going to see these water bottles. And guess what happened? He got hacked to death by a migrant with a machete.
Literally. But at least when the blade was coming for his neck, it severed the cap from the bottle. So it did work out.
That's the video where as he's falling down, the cap is sliced off. And
As his final
Or
breath,
the
he's
little
like,
tab actually saves him.
yeah, his final breath, he sees is thank you.
yeah, he holds the bottle up and the
can
machete
drink my
hits the
water
tab
now.
and gets
And then it's
stuck.
like-
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
Jack rises in the background.
Yeah. I remember I went to Europe and that happened. And I literally I didn't care about the microplastics. Like gnawed it off like a dog. So I'm not
What
gonna
is
live
the
like this.
what's the new meme? Is it Amelia? That's her name.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they have this this website where you're supposed to play a game to like warn you against domestic extremism.
She's supposed to be the bad guy.
Anti-chud.
Yeah, and it's like a cartoon game, and you literally they're like this girl wants you to go to this anti-immigrant protest, and it's this like super cute like all
Purple hair.
purple-haired art chick.
Kind of goth chick.
And you're supposed to say like, no, I will not go to the protest. And if you say yes, they're like, careful, you could be thrown in jail for the rest of your life.
Literally.
But all of the people in the UK have started memeing this girl.
Oh,
to be,
Amelia.
like the hero, yeah.
yeah.
Because
It's horrible. It's
she's-
literally
yeah.
like Jim Crow laws for chuds. Like we are by far the most oppressed group probably. In
Have you guys, there's a viral video from a soccer game where there's like a white guy about to do a
Just saw that
a penalty kick, and then a black guy runs up and shoves him.
yeah.
And he turns around and gets in his face, and then the ref runs up, defends the black guy, and holds the yellow card in the face of the guy who got attacked. And they were like, this is basically Europe.
This is Western civilization.
Yeah.
exactly what it is the downfall.
Yeah. So I'm so
Well,
sick of
look,
it.
whose fault is it? It's conservative Christians' fault, 100%. You sat on the throne, and when the scorpion came to your door, you said, come on in, what do I care? And now your children are reaping the benefits of the world that you built, and still to this day, conservatives are demure.
I legitimately think it's conservative Christian women, to be honest with you.
Well, me and Amber can cook on that. To defend the voting base. Like I make this point all the time with the Brits is like there's this tendency for Americans to be like, well, this is the government they voted for. I'm like, at every turn, the Brit and by extension Europeans have voted for less migration, less migration, less migration. So they are doing all they can do in a liberal democracy.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, was imposed on the West at large after World War II. So it's like, there's not really much we can do because anytime you do chimp out, like the state comes down on you with the full weight. So it's like, at every turn, everyone has voted correctly. Yes, we want less migration. Yes, we want more conservative social policy. Like, think about before
Saw Hillary, though, right?
Think about before Obergefell is like California. They voted no. We don't want gay marriage.
Yeah.
No. Everyone's
Yep.
voting no gay marriage, and then boom, imposed on you. Sorry, it doesn't matter.
we also just voted for mass deportations, and then
Yep.
like a couple of blue-haired women in Minnesota go crazy, and
Yeah.
we're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that anymore because it makes them sad.
Yeah, exactly. So
It's
I'm
because-
not going to throw like Christian conservatives under the bus because it's like they're just operating in the system that you gave them.
There was the briefest of periods of some kind of Republican form of government, and very shortly after the foundation of the United States, it was not anymore.
Yeah, electricity. That caused it. In my
Maybe.
opinion, they wrote this government for pre-electricity.
Jesus.
Riding fucking horses
The,
in Washington, D.C.
The conspiracy theory is that the Americans didn't win the revolution. What happened is when the king and parliament found out that the Americans were proposing a system of governance where anyone could run, they said, so why are we wasting money fighting with them? We can literally just go there and fund elections. And so the conspiracy theory is that within about 10 years, or maybe 10 or 20 years, the British simply just funded candidates who would support the empire, and then effectively relocated the center of military power for the empire in the United States, and then controlled the colonies.
Well, if that were the case, the South would have like decisively won the Civil War
Why?
because that's where the loyalist base was, and that's the British supported. Like there was a much stronger sense of like Anglicanism in the South and these sorts of things. And in the run up to the Civil War, the British were much more aligned with the South than they were with the North. So like the political capital would have all resided in the South, and they would have decisively came on.
I don't think so, because Britain had already banned slavery, so it was bad.
Well, it
politically
wasn't
for them.
about for the British. It wasn't about slavery. It was just about again.
Right, I know, but for the British Empire, they had already abolished slavery, so politically they couldn't get behind the slave states.
This says that
No, they did though. They were like it was fairly explicit.
the government remained neutral, but it was the industry bankers and the finance supported the South heavily. They invested in major holdings of Confederate bonds.
Yep.
About 3 million, 14.5 million in gold through a 1862 bond sale to the.
Yeah, so like it wasn't
Range
Parliament
of
saying
Bank
we
in
support
Paris.
the South, but like every institution in Britain was like it was in their interest for the South to be
Here you go, everybody.
decisively victorious.
Then we combine them. The key is right here, layers of flavor.
So it's about building the right foundation.
Exactly. Then we combine them. The key is right here, layers
That's
of
nice.
flavor.
That's nice. I like that a lot.
So this is Nancy
Voice
Pelosi.
isn't shrill enough.
But you know it's not fair though, because like Gordon Ramsay's a good dude. I don't want to imply that he's teaching her to do evil, because it should be the other way around, actually. Pelosi should be demanding Gordon do it, and Gordon should be saying no.
Yeah, he's like, it tastes like shit. Have him.
Here we go.
It's effing roll.
Have her cook the book. He thinks it's raw. You got a winner of a sketch.
Crazy how he acted on that one show, and then if you watch his Instagram stories or his reels or whatever, he's like such a nice dude.
Oh yeah, like when they have kids on the show and he's like a sweetheart.
So
One of my favorite
Son's awesome too.
episodes of like Kitchen Rescues is when he finds this hole in the wall restaurant, and it's like this old like Caribbean grandma, and she's got this tiny hole in the wall with like 2 tables, and he's just like, I can't believe how good this food is, and nobody knows it's here. And it's just this little old lady at a restaurant.
Seen it.
Oh yeah,
remember
this shit went
Jamaican.
viral.
So like during the O.J. Simpson trial, where like a lot of Black Americans, they viewed it as a wedge issue, so they just got behind O.J. just purely because it turned into like kind of a cultural thing. I had a micro version of this in college where we were like sitting around. It was like a bunch of white and black guys, and we were all sitting around watching Kitchen Nightmares. And there was this episode where he went to a restaurant. I think it was in Memphis actually, and at the front door they found a mouse, like a dead mouse, laying right by the door. And the guy that was running the restaurant, this was like a soul food restaurant, immediately accused Gordon of like, hey, you planted this mouse here for television. This is like crazy. Why would you do this to us? And then all the white guys in the room were like, wow, this is crazy. Like, what? This guy's so crazy for accusing Gordon Ramsay. And every black person in the room was like, yeah, he definitely planted that mouse. And it was like a microcosm. I was like, this is what the O.J. Simpson trial was like.
Oh, take a look at this.
There you go.
Wait, where'd the sound go?
No, it's too explicit.
Oh, wait.
Policy, it's you evil woman. Cooking the books is wrong.
It's just policy,
Yeah.
Gordon.
Policy, it's fraud. You're burning the books.
Yes.
You evil woman. Cooking the books is wrong.
Gordon's a good
It's
man.
just policy,
He's a good
Gordon.
man.
Policy, it's fraud. You're burning the books.
Like a double entendre.
I'm gonna download that. and
Gordon's a
post
good
it.
man. This is accurate.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.